Shalom. Shalom, my brothers and sisters. This is Yasharal, Living Orders and Commands. It is an end-time series to those who seek to do the will of the Almighty Father. Yahuwah is his name. And if this is your desire, you will come to know that it was Yahuwah who manifested himself in the flesh, in the person. His word manifest in the flesh, in the person of Yahushua Mashiach. With that said, these words are to you whom I consider my brothers, my sisters, my family. As I stated, it is an end-time series. This segment is entitled Discern Evacuation Preparedness. My brothers and sisters, yes, we have heard, some of us may have heard the terms of end-time preppers. These are individuals who practically look at the conditions on this planet and have begun preparing for apocalyptic times, end times. Among them are believers and among them are non-believers. But I say to you, my brothers and sisters, if we believe the scriptures to be true, if we believe that the Most High will honor all that he has promised to Yasharal, then we should have no problems coming to embrace the belief and expectation that we will one day be transitioned from the four corners of the earth to the promised land before the physical return of Yahushua Mashiach. Those who have been designated by the Almighty Father to fulfill the prophecies, the promises that he made to Abraham, Yitzhak, commonly known as Isaac, and Yaakov, most commonly known as Jacob, whose name was changed to Yasharal, most commonly referred to as Israel or Yisrael. My brothers and sisters, there are many things which are difficult to discern. We struggle. We desire to have a quick formula for identifying the voice of the Spirit of Yahushua. We fail to realize that the scripture said that the flesh will war against the spirit. Therefore, it is not a quick solution to discern the living voice of the Spirit of Yahushua. He knows how to make himself known to us. And we will come to witness a rise in his presence as end times become intense. We have forged into our expectation a picture of how we believe things will end. There are those who have elected to not give end times any thought whatsoever. Individuals have become so distracted in personal matters that the reality of end times have not reached their beliefs as of yet. It would be wise to not get caught up in the crowd of those who have been given the workings of delusion, who will fulfill the great falling away. It will be wise to step away from those who have no desire to serve the Almighty One. It will be wise to accept that we are on the schedule, designed, planned, and being implemented by the words of the Almighty Father Yahuwah. My brothers and sisters, who have sought the wisdom to earnestly discern the voice of the Almighty Father, sent in Yahushua's name, as it is written in scriptures. We have walked to and fro without regards to what is truly expected of us by the Spirit of Yahushua. The time is now and will become to be more visible for us to respond to living orders and commands like never before. I have no doubts that the most challenging task entails discerning the presence of the Spirit of Yahushua, but I assure you it will prove to be possible and true. I have no doubts we struggle discerning his presence, but trust in the word from the Almighty Father, and we will come to know and hear. We will come to improve in our worship, and we will come to obey. End time prophecies will be fulfilled. I am compelled to believe we desire that quick method with surety, but I suggest to you, my brothers and sisters, trust and know that the Almighty Father knows all, hears all. He knows the very intent of each and every one of us. We say we believe the scriptures to be true. Many echo the words stating that they follow the commands of the Most High Father, but are void of his living spirit among us. Many claim to be Torah observant, but do not realize do not realize what the word Torah means. The definition of Torah is law. His instructions. It did not stop with Moshe or Moses. We serve a living Almighty One, and there are living instructions and commands going forth, day by day, moment by moment. Yes, many people claim to follow the Torah, and have no clue that it goes beyond just the 5 books of Musa. I have witnessed individuals who become confidently wrong on the meaning and definition of the word Torah, a word that has been sensationalized among the believers and even the non-believers, a word that simply means law or instruction. There is a fascination with this word. Many believe it represents the original Hebrew language, and I submit to you that the word Torah is fabricated, just like law or instructions. These are words fabricated for us to understand that we must obey living instructions from the Almighty Father. It is not just designed to define the 5 books of Musa. So when I say fabricated, my brothers and sisters, it is not a standalone word that just means the 5 books. I cannot stress that enough. People are unaware or just plain disregard the original scriptures were in pictures and symbols. They were designed for us to lean on the Spirit of the Almighty Father and watch Him make His written text alive before us so that we know what to do. They are designed for doctrine, for teaching, as His Spirit leads, as His set-apart Spirit that He sent in Yahushua's name teaches us. But many people miss that point. Many people disregard the need to lean on the Spirit of the Almighty Father, His set-apart Spirit sent in Yahushua's name. People disregard whether we read the scriptures in English, Spanish, Latin, or modern Hebrew. And modern Hebrew is an Aramaic version. It is not the original text or the original lip. Some say it's close to it, but it's not it. The Most High Father understands the many different languages for scriptures foretell of a gathering. The people from many nations, kindreds, and tongues. Scriptures tell about their importance. If we're going to speak in any language, that there be an interpreter. Who have witnessed someone fluently speaking in Hebrew? Do you understand? Do you believe what they say? There is much confusion, my brothers and sisters, but that's a topic for another segment, of which I have spoken of in times past. The Most High Father, through His set-apart Spirit, sent in Yahushua's name, desires us to always lean on Him for directions, living directions and guidance. The Spirit of Yahushua is alive and well and will rise up among us as end times become intense. Yes, we say we believe much, but yet are void of the signs of the times, void of listening to the warnings, the instructions regarding the signs of the times. Our words are one thing, our actions are another. Walking contradictions, but reproof is over the horizon like never before. We will face the reproof, discipline, and we will repent, those who will fulfill the final exodus, those who will die for Yahushua's name, and those who will be called to rest. Yes, there will be those who will rebel and fight and kick. But nevertheless, my brothers and sisters, regardless of what we think we're getting away with or what we think we can continue to do, the time is now to look clearly at the one in the mirror and realize that our words will and must match our actions, those who will be among the children of obedience. It is said, actions speak louder than words. What do our actions say about us, O Yasharal? One thing is for sure, my brothers and sisters, there will be a final exodus with true Yasharal, consisting of the 144,000 Hebrews, Abrim, 12,000 from each of the 12 tribes mentioned in Revelation 7 chapter, along with a great multitude of many nations, kindreds, tribes, and tongues, who will fulfill what is written in Scripture, who will rise up under the banner of Yasharal, made one by Yahushua Mashiach. In order for this prophecy to be fulfilled, it requires movement, transition, migration. It requires evacuation from areas that we currently reside. If you've been listening to this message, along with the other messages that I presented, there is no secret that I believe forced migrations are coming. I believe there are many habitable places on this planet that will become uninhabitable. Many places will become barren. Drought will destroy land like nobody ever could have imagined. Drought, famine, and pestilence, and disease will become rampant across the planet. Destruction, fire, death, and destruction will make areas on this planet uninhabitable. I have stated that habitable places on this planet will roll up like a scroll. I am compelled to believe the Spirit of Yahushua has revealed to me that conditions for most of this planet will force man to move back to the region where life began. As I've stated before, just as life began in the Garden of Eden, it will come full cycle, and we will witness the final days of man in the same region where the Garden of Eden. Now, I didn't say in the Garden of Eden, I say the same region where the Garden of Eden. Many times we do not listen carefully and we misinterpret what is being said. I am stating that life will end as we know it in these earthen vessels before the return, upon the return, the physical return of Yahushua Messiah. Upon his return, we will witness these earthen vessels where life will end, and we will put off the corruptible and put on the incorruptible. And this phenomenon will occur in the region where life began. Given all I've stated, I was compelled to present this segment with words of necessity for prophecy fulfillment. The need to begin identifying the signs of the times and hearing what the voice of the Spirit of our Mashiach is saying. The time is now to discern evacuation preparedness. In other words, we are about to evacuate the areas we reside, and we will find sooner than later it will come with living orders and commands that will be so intense. Many will say that they're being forced out of their homes, apartments, trailers, tents, residence. There will not be a pre-tribulation rapture. Our desire to escape what is to come without listening to the voice of the Spirit of Yahushua or without yielding to the scriptures as they are made alive before us has caused many to embrace this pre-tribulation rapture theory. It is an illusion of being snatched away, promoted by many who want to bask in the comfort of a do-nothing attitude and behavior, or at the very least unbelief and softness. Many who believe we're going to be snatched away any day now are void of demonstrating a sense of urgency to prepare for a final exodus, or at the very least to be a martyr for Yahushua's name. My brothers and sisters, migrations take time. Transitioning from one place to the next require movement, intermittent movement, before reaching a specific destination. It requires being transported in some way, shape, or form. I ask you, are we in the end times? Have end times become real? Is this planet dying? Have wickedness reached phenomenal measures? Are we on the brink of total extinction due to global warming and climate change, as we know it in these earthen vessels? Do you believe people will move to areas where there is fresh water and food? Do you believe emotions will become high as desperation sets in regarding the need for fresh water and food as end times become intense? Do you believe as populations become displaced, it is highly possible that migrating individuals will put a strain on other areas? Case in point, do you believe if over 100 million people move from the west of the Mississippi to the east of the Mississippi, that it is highly possible that they will put a strain on resources in cities east of the Mississippi? In other words, sewers, water, rail, roadways, highways, walkways. Imagine areas east of the Mississippi doubling in size and volume as populations begin to migrate towards the east coast of the United States. As conditions become dire, as conditions become worse, as cataclysmic conditions begin to unfold, from volcanoes to tornadoes to comets. Pray and watch, my brothers and sisters. It will not only happen in the United States, it will happen through most of the Western Hemisphere will become annihilated. In the coming of days, there will be much destruction due to drought, famine, increased pestilence, and disease. There will be much destruction due to wars, due to comets hitting the planet. Pray and watch, my brothers and sisters. Look at end time prophecies. and you seek, if you seek to do the will of the Almighty Father, if you seek the life and end time prophecies, you will discover that the Western Hemisphere on this planet is void of being mentioned in the final days before the physical return of Yahushua Messiah. Pray and watch, my brothers and sisters. Imagine millions, hundreds of millions of people beginning to frantically move and migrate in desperate search for fresh water and food. Do you honestly believe in times of desperation that the government or any nation can contain order and civility within our societies? Scriptures mention a group who are not appointed to the wrath of the Almighty Father Yahuwah. I submit to you, this group will become known as true Yasharal, the children of obedience. Scriptures also mention of times when the Almighty Father Yahuwah, our Almighty Father, will avenge the death of his children. Scriptures inform us of a falling away. Pray and watch, my brothers and sisters, for these are trying times, and we will soon come to know the time is now to discern evacuation preparedness. In other words, preparing for movement. Let us begin discussing this with our loved ones. Will there be a final exodus with Yasharal being gathered from the four corners of the earth? Indeed, there will. Do you honestly believe the Most High Father will leave us scattered until the physical return of Yahushua Mashiach? Will any of the following passages represent our final exodus and reveal events that we should expect in the near future? I've shared them once, twice, several times, and I will share them again as I am compelled by the Spirit of Yahushua. Isaiah 11:12, and he shall raise a banner for the nations and gather the outcasts of Yasharal and assemble the dispersed of Yehudah from the four corners of the earth. Be mindful, my brothers, for the Mashiach said those who seek to do the will of his Father are his family, are his brothers and sisters. This includes Hebrews or Abrim and Gentiles, Goyim. Be mindful of Revelation 7 chapter, for it speaks of the 144,000 and it speaks of a great multitude. Isaiah 43:5 through 7 says, do not fear, for I am with you. I shall bring your seed from the east and gather you from the west. I shall say to the north, give them up, and to the south, do not keep them back. Bring my sons from afar and my daughters from the ends of the earth. All those who are called by my names, whom I have created, formed, even made for my esteem. You see, many people read this passage and they think it's going to be every Hebrew that is obedient. I submit to you, my brothers and sisters, it says for my esteem. This is to fulfill his words, his plan. Keep in mind, scriptures foretell that there will be a falling away. Scriptures foretell of those dying for Yahushua's name. Keep in mind that there are those who face physical death asleep until the return of Yahushua Mashiach. So do not succumb to the false teachings of many of these wicked leaders and mores and prophets and priests. Do not succumb to the wicked teaching thinking that all of Yasharal will be gathered from the four corners of the earth. Perception can be a dangerous thing when we fail to listen to the voice of the Spirit of Yahushua. Jeremiah 23:3 says, therefore I shall gather the remnant of my flock out of all the lands where I have driven them, and shall bring them back to their fold, and they shall bear an increase. Many people will read this and wonder, how can I say it's going to be a large number of believers gathered from the four corners of the earth? I submit to you, my brothers and sisters, if there were 2.5 million people among you right now, would you consider that a great multitude? Then how then can it be a remnant? I pose this question before the Spirit of my Messiah, my Mashiach Yahushua, and I am compelled that the Spirit of Yahushua said that when you compare millions to the 7.2 plus billion people on this planet, millions will only represent a remnant. So you see, my brothers and sisters, when we seek out the voice of the Spirit of Yahushua, we can come to know, although there is no specific number to the large size of the multitude, to the size of the multitude, we know it will be a remnant when you compare it to global population. Ezekiel 20:33 through 35 read, as I live, declares the Master Yahuwah, do not I wish a mighty hand, do not I with a mighty hand, with an outstretched arm and with wrath poured out, reign over you? I shall bring you out from the peoples and gather you out from the lands where you were scattered, with a mighty hand and with an outstretched arm and with wrath poured out. And I shall bring you into the wilderness of the people and shall enter into judgment with you face to face. Prepare, my brothers and sisters, evacuation time. It is time to discern evacuation preparedness. For these scriptures will prove to be alive and describe what we are about to face. Who is able to discern that these passages will describe what we are about to face? Now, if you believe these prophecies have been fulfilled, I ask you, do the Almighty Father change? Is it highly possible that we will witness something similar to this occur again? Remember Malachi 3:6, for I am Yahuwah, I shall not change, and you, O sons of Yaakov, shall not come to an end. Every good gift, in James 1:17, every good gift and every perfect gift is from above, coming down from the Father of lights, with whom there is no change nor shadow of turning. I want to go back to Malachi 3:6. Notice that it said, for I am Yahuwah, I shall not change, and you, O sons of Yaakov, shall not come to an end. People will say that this is saying that there's not going to be an end to man. But in order for scriptures to remain intact, in order for scriptures to be whole, we must know that these earthen vessels will come to an end. But it is the spirit of an individual that lives forever. It will either live towards forever with Yahushua Mashiach, or it will live forever in eternal damnation. The obedient sons of Yaakov will live forever in spirit. Keep in mind that no flesh and blood can inherit the reign of the Almighty Father. Keep in mind that there will be a transformation upon the return of Yahushua Mashiach. For scriptures say when he returns, we will see him as he is, for we will be as he is, for we will be shaped in his image. It would be wise to consider fully what is unfolding regarding end-time prophecy fulfillment. Yes, my brothers and sisters, it would be wise to consider examining the things that are of grave importance and set and establish priorities, and begin to seriously consider taking a position to discern what the Spirit of Yahushua is saying, discern evacuation and preparedness protocols. It may sound like a flowery word or a big word to some. All it is discern evacuation preparedness details, methods, in which we will find ourselves gathered from the four corners of the earth. I will pause right here and invite you to stay tuned as I move into part 2 of this multi-part segment. Again, it is entitled, Discern Evacuation Preparedness. Stay tuned for more, my brothers and sisters. Shalom. Shalom. Shalom.